Hey guys, this is Chris Agnello, the host in the Holding Pack. As you guys know, Michael Keaton is in discussions with Warner Brothers right now as we speak. It was reported about 2 or 3 days ago that he was going to make an appearance in the new Flash movie. So there's a good chance that we won't see Thomas Wayne's Batman in that movie, which was played by if I'm not mistaken, his name is Dean Morgan, but I'll have to get back to you on that. And yeah, so today's podcast is going to focus on Michael Keaton returning as the classic Batman. So he would not be playing Thomas Wayne, maybe a future and older Bruce Wayne, but we're going to get more into that. So today's guest is my good friend from elementary school, Jesse. So Jesse, introduce yourself to the audience.
Hey everybody, I'm glad to be here.
Perfect. Okay, so how do you feel about Michael Keaton coming back? Like, I want to hear everything. I want to hear the starting from, what they can do with his character, who he's going to be playing, how many movies is he going to be a part of, his role in the DC universe.
Well, we don't know too much as of right now. Everything is just speculation and rumors, but um, there are people out there online who are pretty credible sources and who are intact with Warner Brothers, who are saying that Michael Keaton is in talks to reprise his role as Bruce Wayne as a mentor slash supporting role for the Flash movie that's upcoming up.
Yeah.
And there's even speculation that Keaton is going to be playing the same Bruce Wayne that we saw in Batman 1989 and Batman Returns. So it could very well be the exact same Bruce Wayne, the exact same Batman from those films.
And it's funny how, like, his Bruce, or like Batman in general, is kind of linked up with Ben's Batman. They're both ruthless, they both killed. So it's basically a good replacement, if you ask me. He never really got the chance to really close up uh, his franchise. So getting like a third movie, even though it's not technically his third movie, but a good closure, to his character. As we know, 1994, if I'm not mistaken, or 95, when the Batman Forever came out with Val Kilmer as the new Batman replacing Michael Keaton. The reason why that happened in the first place is because Michael Keaton refused the script after reading it because of how bad it was. And the biggest factor actually was because Tim Burton was just gonna act as a producer and not a director, and it was gonna be Joel Schumacher. Rest in peace. He died. He passed away this week. Um, yeah, so as the story goes, or the legend goes, that they called him in for a costume testing. Came in, was okay with the costume at first. Then they're like, okay, since you're already here, read the script. He reads the script. He's like, nah, I don't like this. This is a piece of garbage. No Tim Burton, no good script. I'm out. This is gonna ruin my career. I'm done with Batman forever. Get the joke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The confusing part about this is that there are rumors that if the audience takes kindly to his performance in the Flash movie, and if people uh, enjoy it, um, Michael Keaton could potentially play an older Bruce Wayne for future films to come. And I think that poses the question: can we get a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne?
And like, speaking of Batman Beyond, I think the only reason why Keaton wants to come back is not only for a one-time appearance, but to appear in many other DC movies as like a mentor. And as they're saying, they're comparing him to a Nick Fury to the DC universe. So you have Nick Fury played by Samuel L. Jackson in the Marvel universe. Always managing to find a place in every single movie. Somehow he's connected to every single character, and they want Michael Keaton's Bruce to do the same, basically follow the same footsteps. And is this a fan service? Most likely, because DC's only been consistent recently, the last year, since starting 2019. Before that, very inconsistent. People were divided on Batman v Superman. People hated Josh Whedon's Justice League. Wonder Woman was fantastic. Um, Suicide Squad, pile of garbage, as we know. So, I want to get your take on how you feel about Michael Keaton coming back. Are you happy with it? Does it make sense? And does it not make sense?
Well, if they're going for the older Bruce Wayne route, I can't imagine anyone else playing him aside from maybe Kevin Conroy, who does the voice for Batman in like the animated TV series and the video games. But I think Keaton's a perfect choice for an older Batman, especially if he's portraying a mentor role, and especially if it is, like they're saying, the uh, 30-year later sequel to Batman Returns and Batman 89. My biggest concern is that the Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen dynamic is going to feel too close to the dynamic Tony Stark had with Peter Parker. I think that's my biggest concern. I don't want it to feel like a retread or like a copy paste.
And the problem with that is basically like, I don't know a lot of people that actually like that idea, So to begin with, going back to Tony and Spider-Man, Spider-Man should be his own guy, and he shouldn't be like Iron Boy or anything. So we don't need Batman Jr., might as well call him Robin at that point.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. I'd rather a story that focuses on Barry Allen's development as a Flash and not necessarily as a Robin with super speed.
Yeah, that's not going to be such a good idea. It's not going to really sit well with a lot of people. People are just going crazy right now. Like Twitter's blowing up, Instagram, any social media platform, sorry, where information is available to them. It's crazy how like Michael Keaton's name has been trending everywhere in just 2 days, and
Right.
you know, I personally think he's going to play his own Bruce. He's not going to suit up in the costume because he's 68 years old. And if he does, maybe it's going to be a flashback sequence where like you find out like why he retires and he like hangs up the suit and stores it away and just basically monitors Gotham City. Maybe they go the Dark Knight Returns route, and maybe he has a gang working for him. Supporting the the vigilante route, this like as Batman's gang, and helping out decrease crime, just like we saw in Batman Returns.
Right.
So he's just laying back, sitting back. You're gonna see like maybe an appearance from the Bat Dog from like Batman Beyond.
Ace the Bat Hound.
Yes, the Bat Hound. My bad. It's
No,
been a
don't
while
worry
to watch that show. And yeah, so I think like going back to the Flash, I think the way it's gonna go down is basically at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, uh, which originally where Bruce was supposed to die in the three-part Justice League movie. I think it's gonna just end with Bruce Wayne, so Ben Affleck's Batman, sending Flash back in time, or like to another like multiverse, to basically like stop the events of Darkseid, killing the rest of humanity and the rest of the Justice League. Because I think the original plan is that Cyborg, Batman, and Flash are the only survivors. Superman is a I wouldn't say a traitor, but he's acting as a villain, like a side villain to Darkseid, because he's under Darkseid's control. And Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Martian the Manhunter, and the Green Lantern Corps, or just maybe Hal Jordan, is dead at the hands of the Parademons and Darkseid. But that's a completely different topic. So I think that's how it's gonna transition to the Flash movie, because I think Zack Snyder's Justice League is gonna be canon over Josh Whedon's, because how are you really supposed to connect the rest of the DC universe. Like there's no connection. You just cannot make movies and never talk about Josh Whedon's Justice League and just be like, oh yeah, that never happened. That Suicide Squad movie too. Both movies are garbage. Yeah, those didn't happen. They're erased. You can't do that. You need to uh, undo what you did, and that's the best way leading into it. So maybe we're gonna see like Michael Keaton show up at the end of the movie. So when the Flash is like trying to like fix things, in his movie, maybe going head to head with like the Reverse Flash as well. Maybe you see when he comes back and he's like, Bruce, like, who are you? And the chair turns around and it's Michael Keaton's Batman, and he's just like, Barry, I was expecting you, because maybe he had like a flash too, just the way that Ben Affleck's Batman had like a an encounter with the Flash. Was that really happening? Or was he just like daydreaming and like imagining it? Like, I don't think it's been confirmed yet, so maybe Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to confirm that. But trying to stray away from that, getting back on topic. Uh, yeah, so I want to get your opinion on it. Like, what do you think about that? And do you think Michael Keaton's going to be a supporting role in the Flash movie, or just make a late appearance towards the end of the movie?
Well, the one thing that we have been told about this Flash movie is that it's not exactly supposed to follow the Flashpoint storyline that we know and love from the comics. What we're told is that Barry is going to be traveling to different multiverses in general. So I'm assuming um, it it'll either involve him being a supporting role where he acts as a mentor, or it involves him resetting the current DCEU, and that may involve sort of changing um, his history, erasing movies like Justice League and BVS and stuff, and resetting them to be a completely new thing. Or it could just be Barry visiting the universe of the Tim Burton universe and having, a sort of character arc or somewhere within its second act or third act in that universe. It's hard to tell or hard to say exactly what's going to happen because it's all speculation at this point.
Yeah, and like just like adding on to that, you're speaking about the Tim Burton verse. I just hope that's not like too much in the movie, and like that becomes like, I mean, obviously it's gonna be canon because both universes are gonna be connected, but I don't want that CW garbage where like Ezra Miller's Flash appears uh in the Flash TV show, and like he looks really like cheesy and stuff, and just appears and he's like, "Oh, your name's Barry, my name's Barry," and then he just like disappears. I mean, it's obviously like, I would say it's canon that like they're all connected somehow. They're all like different like multiverses. The only thing is that I hope it's never mentioned again, like anything in the CW, because I feel like even though like some shows started off great, they're all garbage now. So I just don't want like some low budget like costumes and like really crummy acting appearing in future DC movies. I hope they just distance themselves from that. So I really hope this Flash movie does not include a lot of CW characters or like any at all.
I don't think that's gonna. I don't think that it's going to go that route. Um, I do know. It was Michael Keaton has stated that he feels whenever he dons a costume like he did in Birdman or like he did in the Batman films, he's a very claustrophobic person. So I highly doubt he'll ever don a costume again. Which is why I think him pushing to be cast as an older Bruce Wayne is a good sign, because it involves the possibility of a Batman Beyond movie, and it involves a possibility of him playing a more major role without ever having to don a costume. Um, and I think the fact that he's interested and that he's the one making the moves, and it's not some company reaching out to him for fan service, really says a lot about the kind of direction that they're going in, and it's very clear that they want to incorporate and really take advantage of the multiverse in general.
And it also shows us his commitment to the role. I feel like he's always stated I'm Batman, because that's like the role that like put him on the map, as an A-list actor. But not only that, but I feel like he low-key missed it. Like he never had the ending that he wanted. Joel Schumacher and DC executives in the 90s ruined him and Tim Burton's vision for marketing for toys and stuff like that. So they ruined their vision. And Michael Keaton's low key a crazy guy. Has very like imaginative mind. This just basically corresponds to Tim Burton. That's why they're such good friends to this day. They're both quirky, weird at times, very imaginative. They get along really well in that aspect. So I've heard rumors that actually Tim Burton reached out and is actually interested in making a Batman Beyond movie.
That's what I heard. I heard that DC wants to make a Batman Beyond movie if the audience, you know, likes his performance in the Flash movie, and I feel like Keaton will only do it if Burton is guaranteed a director's seat.
So wait, so going back to the Flash movie, why does he want to like don like not the bat suit but the Bruce Wayne character again without Burton? But then when it comes as a supporting role, but then when it comes to Batman Beyond, he's like, yeah, I'm only gonna do it if Burton's there. You know what I
I
mean?
Yeah, I think it goes down to what Christopher Nolan achieved. Christopher Nolan wanted to branch out and take his own direction after Batman Begins, and the only way he was allowed to have his free roam is to direct his own movie and get that going. And then once people responded well to that, Christopher Nolan got what he wanted. So I think it's a similar situation where he's agreeing to the supporting role, and if people like what he brings to the character and to the role, it'll give him the sort of free reign to be like, okay, I wanna, if we're gonna do this, I want a Batman Beyond movie and I want Burton to direct it. I feel like
So it gives him
he
focus.
feels like he's entitled. I feel like he feels he's entitled that if I'm gonna do you this favor, I want you to fulfill this favor that I want.
So basically, they're gonna reach an agreement saying that I'm gonna put your DC movie back on top again. Even after all the problems that the Flash movie has gone through with different directors, different storyline ideas. Now they're
Delays.
delays as well. Now they're starting to settle in, and you know, Michael Keaton being approached, or maybe him going after DC executives, saying, I know you've gone through a lot of troubles. I'm gonna help you save this movie, and if I save this movie for you, not only will DC be taken more seriously with their universe, but you owe the great Michael Keaton something in return, and that is a Batman Beyond movie, which he's always wanted to do with his very close friend and the only guy he's trusted to work with on a Batman movie in Tim Burton.
Right. Actually, that brings up a good question. If Keaton is locked down for this role, what does that mean for Jeffrey D. Morgan? Do you think he'll play a Thomas Wayne sort of role?
I think
Because he did play Thomas Wayne for a very brief moment in the opening scene of Batman v Superman.
I think what's gonna happen is that with Michael Keaton coming in, that's A-list like power right now. He's literally a powerhouse. He took a little bit of a break in the early 2000s. Then he made Birdman. Started establishing his name a little bit more. Came back as Vulture. I mean, sorry, he came back into like a really big role, joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Vulture, and killing it. Actually, he made Vulture a very interesting character. And you kind of
Keaton is one of those guys who, when he sees something he likes, he's gonna do his best with it, and I really feel his roles, every role that he picks, every role that he's in, regardless of if it's a good movie or not, I feel like Keaton is always normally the best part, if not one of the best parts of every role he's in.
And another thing is that I find it's a little bit like hypocritical that he donned a costume as Vulture, and yeah, maybe it was just like regular pants and like
like
a
a mocap.
yeah, and a jacket as well, but he had a helmet on top of his head too. He's closed off. He can't really breathe. And he's had a couple of scenes like that. Coming as Vulture. I know it's like usually like mostly CGI'd. But it still counts. He's wearing something that prevents him from breathing. At least with the Batman costume, he has a mouth opening and nasal opening as well. And
Yeah,
now,
but you have to think of this. How much do you think Disney paid him to be the Vulture in Spider-Man? To don a costume and to relive that world again, they must have paid him quite a bit for him to accept being in costume.
and that begs the question: is he coming back to DC because he's cut ties with Marvel?
No, I doubt that. I'm pretty sure it's just a passion project he really wants to do, and he sees a way to get it up and going, and so he's negotiating for what he wants by giving DC what they want.
But here's the thing, okay? As competitors, for decades, Marvel versus DC, ongoing debates, blah blah blah, especially with movies, comic books, etc. You know, do you think Disney's okay with this? Playing the Vulture and going back to Batman, because him coming back to Batman is literally increasing viewership and interest in the DC cinematic universe.
True, but at this point, does Disney really care? I mean, they just launched Infinity War and Endgame, which were, mega colossal blockbusters for them. They made a hell of a lot of money off of just those two movies alone. They keep making more movies with the Spider-Man genre, and yes, he's attached to, or allegedly attached to, the third film that's coming out. There's rumors that he's going to play a factor in that too. But I don't think personally it should infect his decision to branch out and revisit another role with a competing company
I think
or studio.
I just feel that his age is getting up there. He's 68 years old. How long can he possibly play the Vulture character? At least with the Bruce Wayne character, he's sitting down, he gets up, he speaks, etc. And he doesn't even look that old. He doesn't even look like he's 68. He looks like he's in his early 60s, to be honest. He looks 8 years younger than he actually is. Thing is that Vulture. I know it's CGI and stuff, but they literally string you up. You're flying like in the air. You're 68 years old, buddy. You know what I mean? Like something's got to give with his character. There has to be an end eventually. I see him making maybe two more appearances, and that is the Morbius scene where he escapes, most probably in the Sony movie, uh, which is not connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe because Spider-Man will be making his way back to Sony, and I think a Sinister Six movie is gonna happen too. But Vulture, but by the time we get there, Michael Keaton's gonna be like 72 years old. All this is gonna happen within the next 4 or 5 years. 72, 73 years old. He's not Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone that like literally like could curl like 120 pounds. They're not. He's not that fit. And not only that, like we don't know if his body's gonna shut down. We don't know how long this guy has to live. No offense, like we just like they gotta like start rolling with this. It's been 3 years now. Michael Keaton hasn't really done anything with the Vulture role. They keep on teasing him here and there, whatever. He was part of the Morbius trailer, so he's gonna have like a little cameo in there, maybe even maybe a supporting role. We don't even know what's gonna happen in that movie. It's not even been discussed as much as it should be. The marketing for that, maybe Corona really hit it hard with that and affected that movie's interest, But I just don't know like how long this guy can play Vulture. I feel like
Well, I feel like the ending of Homecoming kind of hinted at the fact that spoilers for the ending of Homecoming, but we have that scene in the prison where he refuses to give Spider-Man's name. I think that kind of sets him in line to where if he does come back in any sort of way, I think his criminal days are officially over. I don't think even if there is a Sinister Six movie, I don't think Vulture is going to be a part of it. I'm pretty sure they're going to use another member, whether it be someone like Craven or if Mysterio somehow gets back involved. Um, I don't think. I think they wanted to take his character in a direction where um, he's changed for the better, you know?
But why include him in Morbius? You know, I feel like there's a little bit of like a personal like vendetta that he has. You know, he doesn't want to give information to other people to go after him because he personally wants to go after him. That's why he's keeping it to as a secret for himself.
I don't know if I see it that way. I feel more of a sense of uh, Adrian Toomes feels appreciation for Peter and for saving his life and for um, you know just putting him in a situation where yes things are bad but things can get better,
Yeah.
and I feel like eventually we're going to get to a point where Toomes is either broken out or let go, and he's going to be approached to join the Sinister Six, and I do believe he's going to deny that to, reforge his relationship with his daughter. I feel like he's keeping Peter's secret specifically because he feels he owes him that much.
I feel like he's gonna have a change of heart and then eventually accept the offer. But yeah, but going back to Keaton coming back as Batman, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he's most likely not gonna appear in the Flash movie. With Michael Keaton coming back, it was really one or the other. And I don't think Keaton, he's a very stubborn guy and he only sees things the way he wants to see it. And especially that he's possibly doing uh, the DC executives a favor right now. He's going to be like, so this is my idea for the character. I like your idea, but I want to change some stuff around. I'm Batman. No one else is Batman in this movie. This is the only way I'm coming back is if I'm the only Batman in this movie. If you start complicating it with like freaking 3 different Batmans appearing and stuff, the guy's gonna be like, yo, screw this. I'm done with this project. I'm out. And that throws away an opportunity to revamp the DC universe. Yeah.
I think I think that's the purpose for the Flash film is to sort of the soft reboot that was the DCEU. I think the purpose of the film is to slowly introduce the audience to the idea that hey, there could be more than one Batman. And, I mean, next year we're getting Matt Reeves as Batman, and then we're also getting Ben Affleck's final appearance as Batman in Justice League, and then the year after or 2 years after, whenever the Flash movie decides to come out, we'll be getting Michael Keaton as Batman. So I think the purpose of the film is to get the audience to be on board with, hey, this is one Batman that you can watch, and if you don't like him, this is another Batman you can watch that maybe you'll like more.
And I think Matt Reeves' Batman is going to be part of the Dark Fable like universe that they're creating. So like with the Joker standalone movie, I heard there's rumors that they might make a Bane standalone movie, maybe even a Lex Luthor standalone movie. Villains getting their own type of standalone movies, basically. Telling their origin story. And I think the way the DC universe is going to be going in the future is they're gonna have it divided within like 2 or 3 like universes, so they're gonna be like shooting out movies but they're not gonna be connected. This movie's gonna be connected to the movie that came out 2 years ago, but that movie that came out in between those 2 movies, that's its own thing. That's its own trilogy, you know?
Right. It's like what they did with Joker. Essentially, they released Aquaman, which is technically a sequel to the Justice League movie, but then they also released Joker, which has nothing to do with it. And then immediately after, they follow with Shazam, which is also kind of a part of the same universe as the Aquaman movie. So I think it's just getting audiences used to the idea that there's going to be more than one interpretation of your favorite characters. And I think that's a good selling point for DC because for the longest time I've been saying that the only way to compete with Marvel is to do your
Exactly.
own thing. and DC branching out and going, hey, in 2020, we're going to finish Zack Snyder's vision, but we're also going to be starting a new one with Matt Reeves' Batman. We're going to be giving you a sequel to Wonder Woman. We're going to be giving you eventually a Flash movie that's going to open the door and open the possibilities for a Batman Beyond movie or for, another Flash storyline. Um, I think this is the best thing DC can do right now. And Keaton being a part of it is just a bonus.
And the funny thing about this is that it kind of, you know, happened by mistake if you really think about it, because of Snyder's um failure, as like they thought at the time, uh it led to this. It led to this new idea of making its own Joker standalone movie under the dark label, like Multiverse, whatever you want to call it, um, or Division, whatever. And then Snyder coming back and voicing his opinion, saying, "This is my vision. This is what I was robbed from showing you guys." Where people are like, "Yo, this is such a great idea." Maybe we're not in agreement with the entire your entire vision, like by 100%, but like 85% of us like the idea. It's so much better than the piece of garbage that we got. Like, and you already filmed this. You filmed like a good chunk of it. You even filmed parts of the sequel at the same time. So give
Right.
us that, because what we got is garbage, and we don't want your name to be tarnished with that. Especially like hardcore Snyder fans that love Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. And this is perfect for him. Maybe it's not the way he expected it. Maybe it's he would want it to happen a different way. Obviously, same thing with some of the actors that won't be coming back, like. Uh, Martian the Manhunter, the Green Lantern that's only going to be used in this movie. I'm pretty sure won't make another appearance, and Martian the Manhunter and Batman. I don't know if I said it twice or whatever. I'm pretty sure I said one of their names twice, but you get the idea. Henry Cavill's going to be coming
Yeah.
back. Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman's going to be coming back. Aquaman, Jason Momoa's Aquaman, sorry. Ezra Miller's Flash is going to come back. Cyborg, 50-50.
Yeah, Ray Fisher. No, Ray Fisher has expressed he wants to return to play Cyborg. I don't know if he's. I know his standalone movie has been shelved for now, but he's probably going to have a cameo or supporting role in the Flash movie because I think he and Ezra Miller are good friends.
Yeah, they are good friends. A lot of them got close during the shooting of Justice League, and even before that, getting to meet each other, saying, this is gonna be like your team, for the next couple of movies in the DC universe. So get along, get to know each
Right.
other, and so on. It didn't work out the way they wanted to, but you just gotta give respect to them on how they all handle it, the
Right.
situation, and they all
I
voiced their
think
opinion.
DC has. Sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry. Just voice their opinion to get Snyder's vision back. And sadly, Ben Affleck's not going to be coming back. He had a lot of good moments and a lot of weird moments that were kind of shown in Josh Whedon's version. But Michael Keaton coming back. Um, it brings a lot of fans that lost hope in this universe in DC. Maybe they even stopped watching Batman movies or DC projects ever since Keaton got screwed over back in the 1990s. After Joe Schumacher came back and replaced him. Came and replaced him. Um, with just that being said, like you're not only like opening the door to people who grew up watching that Batman, but you're giving.
But you're also giving countless possibilities for more bigger and better stories to
Yeah,
come.
and
You know,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, I do think this is a very good thing that DC is doing. I think the fact that they're allowing, first of all, they're allowing directors to um, bring their visions to life is a very good thing because I know on Twitter, people like Zack Snyder and David Ayer, who directed Suicide Squad, have expressed their displeasure working at Warner Brothers because of how limited they were to bringing out the director's vision. I think DC is finally taking a step where they're allowing people to tell the stories they want to tell, and they're not worrying about sticking to one continuity or sticking to one storyline. So the idea of bringing back Tim Burton's Batman and potentially giving him a sequel or a Batman Beyond type film post Flash is a very good thing. The fact that they're allowing Zack Snyder to conclude his vision is a very good thing. The fact that they're allowing Patty Jenkins to take her own direction with the Wonder Woman films is a very good thing. And regardless of how those movies come out, I think the fact that DC is allowing these people to make the movies they want to make is saying a lot. And personally, regardless of who's attached and who isn't attached, in the coming years, I feel like I will most likely go watch Matt Reeves' Batman over the next Spider-Man movie or over the next Marvel movie that's coming out, primarily because of the step that DC's taking to give their filmmakers freedom.
Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe has already been written like from 10 years ago. You know, like and then as the years go on, they add a new character, a new movie, so everything's already like the ideas are already put in place. You know, so the directors just have to recreate that vision, put it on the big screen. That's it. With DC, with the failures that they got hit hard and lost a lot of money, you know, now they're finally saying, you know what, this big scandal of us screwing Snyder over, you know, he got his movie after all. You know what? Just just do what you got to do. You know, just bring us
Yeah,
money.
I
At the end
think
of the day,
DC.
bring us fans. You know, let's just try to get back on track and compete against Marvel and try to overthrow them. Especially now with Phase Four not being that interesting compared to all the past phases, and you know, Batman Beyond that concept and Michael Keaton coming back. Those two ideas alone I already have people going nuts. This is like it's a big fan service, first of all, and it's been talked about for like 20 years, you know?
Just to put into perspective, the idea of potentially having a Batman Beyond movie is so rare that, like, for Marvel fans listening, if you thought bringing Spider-Man into the MCU was a big deal, Batman Beyond is our Spider-Man for the MCU. Like, that's how big it is for DC fans.
And talking about the Batman Beyond movie, what do you expect to see? Do you think it's actually going to be Tyler McGinnis taking the mantle, or is it going to be like a potential like Batgirl? You know, because I heard that that was a rumor as well. You know that it might not be Tyler McGinnis, and like what? And then let's say Tyler
Um,
McGinnis is the main choice, and they're going to sticking with the uh, that adaptation of the character and that storyline. Who would you see playing Tyler McGinnis?
Um, I think we do know that a Batgirl movie has been in talks for a very long time, and I did hear a rumor that they were planning on merging the Batgirl movie with the Batman Beyond movie. Personally, I feel Terry McGinnis is the way to go. I think Terry has always been Batman Beyond and should be the way to go, at least for this your first try, right? But if they do go for a Batgirl approach to the Batman Beyond storyline, um, I'm not opposed to it. I think it's an interesting concept. Once again, it comes down to the director. You know, if that's their vision, that's their vision, and I support directors. You know, fulfilling their visions. In regards to who I think could play Terry McGinnis, I honestly have no clue
I
because
have a guy.
the animation style in the 90s was very awkward, and the early 2000s even was very awkward, so it's hard to tell who would match Terry McGinnis, you know, because I for the longest time I thought Terry McGinnis, and maybe I'm wrong on this, maybe I'm right, I thought Terry McGinnis should be played by an Asian male, right? Because Terry kind of looks a little bit Asian
Yeah,
in the show.
exactly.
And I'm not saying he necessarily has to be played by an Asian, but I think, um, you know, if you were to cast an Asian person to play Terry McGinnis, I would have no idea who that would be. You know,
So I actually have a choice to actually play Tyler McGinnis, and that is actually funny. His first name is actually Tyler as well, and that's Tyler Posey from Teen Wolf. Yes, he's made up.
Do you mean Terry? We're talking about Terry
Oh,
McGinnis, right?
Terry. Yeah, my bad. I made a mistake. Yeah, sorry. It's not Tyler's. Yeah, it's Tyler Posey playing Terry McGinnis. Sorry, not
No,
Tyler.
don't worry about it.
Sorry, sometimes you get confused. You know, it kind of sounds the same. Why do I have him as a pick? He's not that old. He's 28 years old. Yes, he's kind of short, but Keaton is short. You know, so having a short Bruce Wayne Batman and a short Tyler McGinnis Batman kind of makes sense. You know, in this universe, you know, taking the mantle. You know, in this universe, you know, Batman's not taller than 5'11", which
Mm.
is kind of funny. You know, and I'm not too sure how
Well,
Tyler McGinnis.
we do know, we do know Bruce Wayne is well, we know obviously he's going to be older in the Batman Beyond movie, so I don't think height is a huge factor for that. I think Keaton, um, would be the perfect candidate for that role.
The problem with Tyler Posey is that he doesn't have a really solid resume. He has a lot of crummy movies under his belt. You know, Teen Wolf is basically the only like good thing that came out of his career, sadly. And this is a good platform to launch off from and establish his name. Yeah, maybe he's gonna get typecast, but you know what? This is the biggest movie of his career by far. You know, and if you want to go with a Asian male, I was thinking the guy from Riverdale. He was actually was in the damn it, I always forget Bad Boys 3. Man, I forgot his name. Oh, Charles Melton. Okay, he has the height, he has the build, and he's establishing himself as a serious actor. You know, he has Bad Boys for Life, which is Bad Boys 3. He has The Sun is also a star, a romantic movie, but you know he's the main lead. He has Riverdale, which he pops in and out. You know, so this guy is literally building his name. He's 29 years old, so he's a year older, but he is taller than Tyler Posey. But I think
Well, I'm looking at them both right now, and I think they're both solid options. I mean, I don't know the range of their acting ability because I haven't seen them, or at least I don't think I've seen them in anything. Um, but they look the part. That's
they
for
both
sure.
have that like nice slick black hair. They both have that charismatic attitude, you know, going on. That's what Terry McGinnis has.
Yeah,
Um,
he's just a cocky and more
and they
stubborn
both
version of Bruce
and
Wayne.
they both have that jawline, that fantastic, beautiful jawline. You know, that's gonna appear like right below their cowl. But the thing is that is it gonna be a comic book adaptation or sorry, a cartoon adaptation, you know, where he's basically wearing fully black and his face is covered? Or are they going to show some chin? You know, and I feel like maybe it's okay to show some chin as long as they get the bat emblem and the colors right. You know, I don't think the mask is really going to be that much of a problem if they show his chin, you know?
In terms of costume design, costume design is something that's pretty unpredictable. Uh, Usually, DC sticks to source material on that. Uh, I don't recall a time where there's a DC character who doesn't quite look like his comic book adaptation. So I'm not necessarily worried about how the costume's going to turn out. I'm more so worried about their acting ability. But if we're going about comic book um, accuracy, or if we're going about the accuracy to the TV show, you have to remember this could potentially be a Burton film. And if it is a Burton film, then you can basically throw comic book accuracy out the window because we know Burton is not a huge. He doesn't follow source material as closely as other directors
And if
do.
you saw his designs for the original Batman movie, you know, his designs for the Joker and stuff were very like quirky and weird, and some people had to step in and tell him, like, a lot of people are gonna be pissed off at you if you do this. You know, I think you should find something that's a little bit close to the source material. And obviously, he took their advice, but he still stuck with his vision. You know, So for the costume, and it's gonna be like a big sci-fi movie because it takes place in the future. So I don't know what's gonna happen with Tim Burton's verse because his verse is very gothic. It's not very futuristic. You know.
Right, but I think it will give Burton the perfect opportunity to sort of incorporate what he's great at into that neo Gotham world that we have. I can see it being gothic, but I can also see it being futuristic. I think if anyone could pull off that aesthetic, it's Burton.
But Charles Melton and Tyler Posey, going back to them, either or, honestly, they're both fantastic choices. They're not that cheap. You need a up and coming star that's kind of known, and obviously Tyler McGinnis is very good looking, and you wanna get some female viewership as well. You bring in a kind of like an attractive looking actor to portray that. Bruce has always been a middle aged man. What are you going to be attracting besides like nerds? Uh, I feel like no offense. I just feel that the Batman Beyond Batman should be more like a Spider-Man. Try to find a very good actor who has an attractive characteristic, as well that comes with that actor. Not gonna choose some ranky dank guy who looks meh, to play Batman, even though he's fantastic. You need. I'm sorry to say, but you need to look the part and act the part as well to draw in interest. And
Right.
you don't want your market just to be males and just like hardcore like nerds and fans.
Yeah, you want to branch out. You want to make sure you give people what they want, but at the same time, you do have to appeal to the audience, right? My thing is that I think personally, um, doing what you want, in my opinion, doing what you think is best, outweighs what people expect from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That might be a little bit controversial, but I feel like if Burton is going to make a Batman Beyond movie, I want to see a Burton Batman Beyond movie. I don't want to see a studio exec Batman Beyond movie. And regardless of comic book accuracy, regardless of who he casts, um, I think Burton will bring something that people may like, people may not like, but I think it'll be more interesting than the studio forcing Burton to do whatever the studio wants.
Yeah, and
Because then it's going to come off half-assed.
if you tell Tim Burton make something that you're not used to making, so Tim Burton movies very gothic, very quirky, weird, seem very out of place compared to like
But
regular
also
movies.
very personal and very poetic in a
Yeah,
way. Burton has a unique style to him that I feel not a lot of people, a lot of people resonate with, but not a lot of people um, devote devote their understanding to. And I feel like if he comes back in this day and age and does a Batman Beyond movie while still carrying what he's good at, I think it's going to open a lot of people's eyes to his work, and a lot of people are going to appreciate him more for that. And the same goes with Keaton. I feel like Keaton will uh, be talked about for years to come if he takes that role and if he does it the way he intends to do it with Burton.
yeah, exactly. And just a closing statement before we end this episode. Uh, I just hope that everything works out for the best. DC has been going through hell the last couple of years, and they're starting to gain some footing now. With recent successes like Shazam, Joker, Aquaman, their upcoming Matt Reeves Batman movie. The Suicide Squad movie, which is going to be directed by the Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn. And I'm just hoping this like wacky, crazy multiverse idea works out. I hope.
I think it will work out. I think personally, in like maybe not right away, but maybe in like 4 or 5 years' time, I do think people are going to go watch DC movies more than they are going to go watch Marvel movies. I think Marvel's formula is kind of dying off right now, and people want more creative freedom, more interesting visions. And I think DC is starting to realize that and starting to deliver what people really want.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's not only about like success, but it's about like the movies being appealing to us. I just hope they're interesting and they're not too over the top, and they're comic book accurate in some capacity, where we're actually gonna be like, oh my god, they've actually adapted that to like to the big screen. That's amazing, Yeah, it's cool to be like, yeah, I've read some stuff, in comics and stuff. These ideas are cool, but like seeing it, actors portraying what you read as a kid, throughout the years, and adults in the 40s and 50s that read crazy Batman and other stories in the DC universe comic books, the 80s and 90s, some of the biggest classics like Long Halloween, Batman Returns, and Superman and Wonder Woman and so on, comic books, crazy stories, I just hope they are able to take those ideas, yeah, put a little bit of a twist on it. You don't want to make it too predictable, and I think that's what they're doing now, right now, with the future of the DC cinematic universe, and obviously with the Batman Beyond movie and the Flash movie. They're not making it too predictable. They're not using all the same characters that are known to be appearing in the original adaptations, and I think that's okay if it works out, So that's just what I wanted to
Right.
say about that. And
Yeah, I do believe DC is learned from their mistakes, and I do think that their failures have made them grow. And I'm interested to see the direction they decide to go.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's nice to have someone that's in ingredients with you and share the same vision, even though you don't really know any good characters that played Terry McGinnis. But it's okay. Maybe one day you'll go online and be like, oh yeah, this actor is really good to portray that character. But honestly, whatever happens, happens. It's in the hands of the executives and possible directors helming these projects. And for now, I just wanted to say thank you so much for appearing on the podcast. Thank you for giving me your thoughts and ideas of what you would like to see in future DC projects and how you feel about Michael Keaton. So thank you so much, Jesse.
No problem, anytime.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll get a chance to maybe have another episode of discussing future Spider-Man movies or maybe even a Deadpool movie. So yeah, we're foreshadowing what's going to happen in the upcoming episodes. Thank you so much once again. Don't forget, fans or viewers, whoever's watching this, don't forget to like, subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a good day.